Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 34th Annual Old Shoe Classic between Troy and Canton High School. Tonight's game is being played at Alperon Park, with Troy sporting an overall record of 4-4-1, 1-3 in league competition, hosting Canton with an 8-1 overall record, 5-0 in league competition. These are two traditionally strong football powers in the NTL, with Canton having won the NTL league and district competition in 1987, Troy reaping the same honors in 1988. This year, Canton is in position to take all the cookies in the NTL in view of their 5-0 record. The win for tonight sews up the record, sews up the league, sends them off into district competition in 2 weeks against South Williamsport. While for Troy, the loss will bring an end to a rather disappointing season after last year's performances. Rest assured, nevertheless, this game will be thrilling. Canton, number 1 defensively and number 2 offensively, faces Troy, ranked 4th and 5th in defense and offense, respectively. Some of the sponsors for tonight's game: the Canton Pharmacy, your total prescription service; Citizens of Northern Bank with 14 area branches; Cantrell Yamaha, the right machine for all sports; Morrison Seeger, featuring Quasar video recorders and TV; the First Bank of Troy, the only bank you'll ever need; Henco Incorporated, professional fundraising for the Northern Tier; the Canton Telephone Company, now with call waiting service; Eastern Home Care and Oxygen, 24-hour service and free delivery; Roxy's Deli for delicious homemade pizza and more; 14 Appliance and TV Center with RCA and Radio Shack equipment; Skeets Auto Parts, your Big A dealer for the area; Price's Tire and Service Center, no hassle, guaranteed service; Eastern Dairy Store, bulk foods and closeouts from top manufacturers; McClure Fords, your Ford and Mercury dealer in Troy; First National Bank of Canton, quick loans from friendly people who care; Miller Chevrolet, Jeep, Eagle, and cars and trucks on Canton Street; Pizzeri's Pizza and Subs, take out or dine in, delicious; Seals Lumber, quality products at discount prices; and Steiner's Refrigeration, New Pulse milking systems, and White and Westinghouse products. It's going to be a good night for a football game. The teams have just about completed their warm-ups. The air is somewhat chilly, but not unbearably so, at least not up here in my little nest. There seems to be a lot of room for crowds yet, as I look down across the field. The field is in good shape. Seems to be relatively dry after the mixed rain and snow we had earlier in the day. And all things considered, this being the final game in the normal season of play, shaping up to be a good one. Troy, I believe, has been plagued by a number of injuries to some key people throughout the season, and I'm quite certain that those with any hope of playing or any chance of playing this evening are going to be up to the contest. Canton has a few minor injuries in some of its key positions. More about that later. But I think the contest, regardless of anyone's records, it's always an emotional game, and I think it's going to be well worth your viewing. Canton comes in tonight's game featuring a quite balanced attack with approximately 253 yards average rushing per game. That's total offense. Passing, approximately 120 per game, and total offense about 374 yards a game. Their rushing is about 253 yards. They have 253 rushing, 120 passing for about 374 yards total offense per game. Rather admirable statistics. Troy averages approximately 127 yards a game rushing, passing about 74 yards a game for a total of about 200 yards a game. Offensively, for the Warriors, starting lineup tonight should feature these people. At quarterback, number 10, Damon Perry. At right end, number 11, Lance Reidel. At wingback, number 21, Jason Faust. At fullback, number 25, Tony Shattuck. At tailback, number 44, Sean Mockmer. At left end, number 92, Lyle Wisniewski. The interior linemen are anchored down by George Schoonover, number 53, at center. Right guard will be either Mark Bailey, number 63, or Kurt Fitzwater, number 74. They'll be jockeying the plays in and out. At left guard, Wade Graham, number 68. Left tackle, number 71, Larry Herman. Right tackle, in the neglected to mention, will be Jason Davis, number 79. Defensively, starting with the secondary, working back to the line of scrimmage, Perry and Rydell will do the chores of the halfbacks, defensive halves. The linebacking core, Tony Shattuck, Reeve Mott, and Sean Mockmer. The defensive ends, Lyle Wisniewski, Jeff Pepper. The interior linemen, Wade Graham, Larry Herman, Kurt Fitzwater, and Jason Davis. Some people to keep an eye on defensively based on their past performances, number of solo tackles and assists. Keep an eye in the middle for Wade Graham. Also watch the linebackers, Mockmer and Shattuck. Defensively, Lance Rydell has accounted for a significant number of tackles, which can be interpreted a number of ways. Sometimes bad if runners are breaking into the secondary. Sometimes good. He's coming up and making the hits. He's also stopping any long passes for significant gains. I don't have a starting lineup for Troy available at this time, so I'll have to fill in. The game, the Troy Trojans have taken the field. Canton's waiting in the wings, the north end of the field. We've had a nice parents' recognition night. There's crisp, cool. I think everybody's had about all the nervous anticipation you can stand. Waiting for the band to clear the field. If there's any question about whether they would be excited for the game, I think that we can remove all doubt. I think there might have been some concern that maybe they would take Troy lightly. I don't think that ever happens, regardless of any team's records coming into the game. This game is football in the NTL as far as these two communities are concerned. And the season up to this point has just been practice.
This is always a fitting end to the season, Jerry. On paper, I imagine we probably have a percentage of the best athletes. But there's always a lot of heart involved in this game. You just never know.
That's right. I think every player who's going to get an opportunity to play tonight is going to reach deep down inside himself, since for many it will be the final game. He's going to give it all he's got. Bring the captains out onto the field now. Canton, Larry Herman, Jeff Pepper, and Wade Graham. It's been a tradition at Canton to have linemen be the captains, represent the team, since not to take anything away from the running backs and the pass receivers, but if it doesn't happen in the trenches, it doesn't happen on the field. You live and die by the quality of your linemen.
One place Canton's been very tough this year. They've really tough up front, plus they have a lot of depth. They in years past, we'd have 5 or 6 linemen that played a whole ball game. We've been substituting quite often during the ball game. Give those people a little break every once in a while. That may tell the difference in this game, as a matter of fact.
That's certainly important to have a chance to freshen up a little bit. A lot of schools that enjoy larger enrollments and larger turnouts for sports can be a little freer with substitution, but if you don't have the backups to spell your starting players once in a while, you soon run into trouble, because many of the schools around here are not able to get into a two-platoon system, and the linemen, for example, will have to play offensively and defensively. So conditioning really is a key, and conditioning has always been an important part of Canton's program.
That and being lucky enough to stay away from injuries is important.
That's true, especially with the lack of depth. If you get a few key injuries, you're in big trouble in a hurry. Warriors will be kicking off to Troy from north to south, or left to right on your screen. Deep to receive for the Trojans, number 7, Darren Weed, and number 44, Josh Bruce. Dennis Hulslander and Glenn Flanagan appear to be the next men up. Lance Larkin will do the kicking chores for Canton tonight. And here we go. Opening kickoff, the 1989 NTL Old Shoe Classic. Bruce takes it on about the 7-yard line, sprints to the outside right, and is stopped at about the 28 or 29-yard line. Not a bad return, Jim.
No, he broke to the outside, but we had containment.
Well, we'll see what Troy comes up with. They're typically a wishbone offense, and they do run a true option. They will split wideouts either side or double them up on sides. They run some counters.
They're bread and butter plays. They're middle trap. I like to run the option.
They have a wide receiver right, wing back on the left, and they're going to come with a counter option play immediately. But Jeff Pepper, right defensive end for Canton, was there to make the stop. Anybody aspiring to play defensive end better be able to play the position one way, and that's stay at home. You have to anchor down that corner of the line. Pepper certainly does justice to the position. Troy comes out now with about a 2nd and 10 again. Same formation, a wing back left, split out to the right. Counter, coming to the short side of the field with Hicks keeping the ball, and he's stopped there for maybe a yard gain. Apparently, yard marker shows no gain as far as the spot's concerned, so it'll be 3rd and 10.
Canton's been traditionally tough against Troy on the run. I imagine before long they're going to have to start putting the ball in the air.
I think so too, Jim. Canton's passing defense may have been suspect at certain points throughout the season, but
they've gotten better every game.
If you can't run the ball, you're not going to be able to have the time to pass, because those defensive linemen are going to come charging through at random. We have a wide slot to the left, and they curl a tight end back out about a 7 or 8 yard pattern to the left. Kind of a throwback pass, trying to catch Canton off guard, but
anytime a defensive halfback can give up a 2-yard pass, he's doing a good job.
Right, certainly nothing in that situation. 3rd and 10 to lose 2 yards. That forces Troy in a punting situation. With the ball about on the 31-yard line. Hicks is back deep to punt. Herman got in quite well. It was a short kick. Got to the Canton about 38-yard line, where it's down by Troy. The players seemed to have lost track of the ball. It was
I came awful close to hitting kids from Canton's foot. As a matter of fact, I thought it did at first, but I guess not.
Now, that certainly would have been disastrous. That could have given Troy a break they need early in the game. Looks as though Bailey is going to be starting out at left guard or right guard rather, for the Warriors. He comes in with the play. Canton lines up in kind of a broken wishbone set where they immediately go to a power play, a dive with the tailback, Mockmer over the left side of the line. And they have a pickup of about probably 6 to 7 yards. Be about 2nd and 4.
Canton has a young offensive front line also. They have a junior at center and a sophomore at tackle, and they have several juniors that trade off at guards.
Come with an eye. Same play. Mockmer bowls up into the line ahead of the blocking Shattuck, and it picks up enough for the first down. I guess what Canton's doing is they're setting up an eye with a flanker back and then sending that flanker in motion and bringing him back into the line to block.
Yeah, he'll crack back. A lot of times he'll seal off back down inside.
You're seeing more and more of that in pros and college, and I guess apparently it's crept down to the high school now. It's good to get that extra blocking back right in where you need him most.
You have to be careful, so it's not called what they call a crackback block.
Right.
You have to get the right position, wait till the defender come to you.
Right.
That's taken a lot away from the little guys, having to block everybody above the waist.
Right.
So anytime that you can finesse a block, you're in good shape.
Okay, Canton comes out with an offset backfield. Jay Faust in motion and give to Mockmer over the right-hand side of the line. It kind of looked like it was a counter dive.
Right.
Like what they used to call a crossbuck, I guess. Perhaps a trap in there?
Well, in that case, in the past when we sent that wingback in motion, a lot of times we've run a sweep with that wingback as the ball carrier, and so they just countered off that and gave to the tailback.
Okay, 2nd and 8, gain of 2 yards in the previous play, and we have a eye.
Well, it's basically a half wishbone is what it looks like.
Mockmer carries the ball again, pickup of about 5 yards.
We seem to be working on the right side of Troy's defensive line. Our left side of our offensive line seem to be picking up good yardage.
Yeah, at this point, Canton's offensive line is definitely in control of the line of scrimmage. They seem to be able to run at random. Of course, Mockmer's been carrying all the chores, so look any time perhaps for a counter play.
Looks like Troy's still running that traditional 4-4 defense, and
set
usually
up
they put two of their best athletes right in the middle at middle linebacker.
Wing backs in motion again.
That's the kind of play that puts the team in a hole, especially in third and short yardage. I don't know what happened on that. It looks like somebody got his hand hit when he tried to pitch the ball to the wing back.
Right, and the pitch came quite high. That was an attempt to pitch back to Rob Hill.
Dangerous. It could have been picked off.
They had plenty of blockers out front, but something happened on that pitch, and now Canton's momentarily stalled on about the Troy 42-yard line, I guess.
Looks like they're going to try to put him in the hole. Sean Montgomery's a very decent punter.
All right, he gets a good bounce. Let's hope somebody can get down there and keep it. Okay, Troy downs it, or they downed it on the about the 10-yard line. He slipped down on his knees, of course, down the ball right there. So at least that bit of strategy was effective. They pinholed Troy deep in their own territory. Haven't left them too much room to operate.
I always say football is a game of inches, and field position is very important.
I think it certainly will be tonight. If the first series is any indication of what Troy has to look forward to, it's going to be a long night offensively for them. Of course, I'm sure they have quite a repertoire of plays and gadget plays. They can come up with something to get out of the hole. Look for them maybe to open up this series passing now. They're in a slot to the right. And sure enough, they send a tight end. I guess. And I couldn't really tell where he came from. That was Rob Smith. Yeah, the tight end did a quick look in over the center.
Quick slant over the middle.
Yeah, they had a twins to the right as a kind of a decoy maneuver, but pass was a little high. It was pretty crowded in there. Got to give the guy credit for going in there after that. Right. Brings up 2nd and 10 from the 10.
First couple games this year for Canton, we were a little suspect in the defensive backfield, but they've been improving by leaps and bounds week after week.
A few personnel changes here and there have done wonders, I guess.
Well,
they're going to look down the sideline, but the ball,
another big part of the fact that
they tried to send Josh Bruce down out of the backfield down the sideline, and he had maybe a step for a second on our defender, Perry, or rather Rydell, but Rydell maybe had turned around and seen the ball just a second sooner. He certainly was in position to make an interception on the play, just out of his fingertips.
Canton's defensive backfield has improved during the year, basically because most teams cannot run against the defense, and they've had to put the ball in the air, which has given them a lot of practice.
Right, on this play, they tried the option. They had Bruce split out wide on the left, and of course he used to take the run the defensive halfback off, and they came down the line to the left on the option with the fullback. Looked like he might have eluded the tackler to make the turn on the corner, but
looks like Canton might go for the block. I see they have Sean Montmer back deep by himself. Usually when that happens, they're going to go for it.
Yeah, 4th and 12 in this situation. I see no reason why. And they
there
have
it is.
it.
There's
They
the
have
block.
it. They're going to get
There's
a touchdown.
The
They're going to
Looks
get
like
a touchdown.
There it goes.
Good job by. I guess that was blocked by Herman. I think that was Larry Herman, number 71, shot right through. Looked like he was relatively untouched and made a perfect cover. He took just the right angle. He dove to where the ball was going to be, not where the ball was. Brought the ball down. I couldn't see who recovered.
I don't know if you recall the Wyalusing game at Wyalusing last year, and Larry Herman blocked a punt, picked it up, ran in for the only touchdown, and we beat him 7-0. So I guess he's pretty used to that, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly performs as though he knows what's going on. Yeah, that was definitely a situation which the block was called for. Nothing to lose. Even a good punt back from the goal line would have put us back, still back within Troy territory, inside the 50. Trying for 2-point conversion now. Perry rolls out to the right to pass and throws back. Rydell was there, but unfortunately,
he didn't see the linebacker.
The linebacker saw what was coming. Apparently, been well versed against that play. We've used it several times, I guess, and it has been successful. Rydell's one of the top receivers in the league. He has deceptive speed.
I think
he seems to get loose easily.
I think Boo Perry thought he was so wide open, he tried to just float it to him, and I didn't see that linebacker lurking behind the line of scrimmage.
Well,
if he had put a little more zip on it, he might have made a completion. I don't know.
Maybe going a little deeper to the corner and let Rydell come up for it. But it's easy to second guess from up here.
Sure
is.
Is.
He couldn't see that linebacker down there with the dark jerseys all seem to blend together. One looks like, or three look like one or two. So Larkin will kick off again.
Good.
And nice kind of
It was kind of a line drive. That's usually
a little short. And tackle made by Jason Faust.
Jason Faust. I'll tell you, for a kid with his size, I mean, he's deceptive. He only weighs about 145 pounds, but I'll tell you, he can put a lick on you.
Right. Well, Troy will take the ball now, 1st and 10 on about the 34-yard line.
That usually, good return usually happens when they have a line drive kick like that.
Doesn't really give the defenders a chance to get down and cover, but Faust managed to slip down that sideline and kind of juke the man that was supposed to block him and got in and stopped it. Troy's out in a pro right option, comes down the line. Our defensive end shut off the pitch and then turned back in to help. That was Pepper. He's kind of doing double duty. I hope he doesn't get over anxious and leave his position, because he knows his responsibility is to cover the pitch man in that situation.
Usually, one of Troy's favorite plays is that little middle trap with the fullback. It looks like Canton's defense taking that away from him, which forces the quarterback to keep the football and either pitch or keep the ball and run with it. And so far, he's only pitched once, I believe.
Right. Keeps it this side. This time, same play, only to the right-hand side, to the wide side of the field. Brought down there by number 42, Reeve Mott. He's an underclassman who's been called upon to see quite a lot of action offensively and defensively. Shows some promise as a player for Canton, as do several of our underclassmen. It's third about 5 from, let's see, about the 45-yard line. I think that's Troy's deepest penetration.
Imagine this would be a passing situation. They may try the option again.
Well, third and 5 is one of those, any success on the option. Okay, he's going to throw the quick look in, delay type to Bruce, number 44. And looks to me as though he weaseled just enough yardage out of that catch. He was tough to bring down, and he got a first down for Troy. So Troy crosses
that's a tough pass to
about
defend.
The 46. Right.
A little short out.
You have
the
to
defensive halfback has to respect the deep pass, and well, if they give him the short stuff, that's fine.
He takes that step to get the defensive halfback to take a step back, and it gives him that much more room. Now we've got a twin wide receiver to the right with a split end to the left, a single back, and we're going to throw a curl out pattern to Bruce again on the sideline, and Rydell's there covering him like a second skin. He's still picked up about 4 yards. Still can't fault Rydell for that. He's doing his job.
There's lots of Canton boys around the pass receiver that time. That shows you what kind of pursuit they have.
Right.
That's an awful lonely feeling being out there one-on-one with the receiver, buddy, I'll tell you.
No doubt, no doubt. You know you have to be sure.
Yes, sir.
Of your tackle. Okay, we've got a single setback, fullback, and we've got our twins, kind of a slot. We run the option to the right, to the wide side of the field. Picks up a couple of yards, brings up about, probably about 3rd and 2 now. Third and 2 gives you an interesting situation for a play choice. You throw those short look-in passes, you can run the option.
They've been pretty successful with that little short out pass.
Right, you still got 4th down, and you're over midfield, so, or nearly over midfield. So
here he comes.
They're going to throw the curl out again.
One of these days, I can see one of the Canton defenders, number 11, Lance Rydell, may time that just right, pick that baby off, and away he goes.
That's right. Poor footing kept both of them away from the ball, but you can certainly see an accident waiting for a place to happen right there.
That's an awful long way to throw the football. It gives you it gives the defender a lot of time to react.
You talk about putting something on the ball. If you float that out there, that's up for grabs.
Yeah, that's disaster.
Troy's back to punt now. Fake punt. And he's coming around the right-hand side, and he has enough for the first down by the looks.
Anything can happen in a Troy Canton football game.
So I was alluding to before, Jim, with a 4th down, at that field position like that, you're not, you have nothing to lose on 4th down to go for it. I mean, you've got, Canton still has over 50 yards to march. So that's a smart call by Troy coaching
it's just
staff.
like a suicide squeeze. If you make it, you're a hero. If you don't, you're a goat.
Okay. Well, look for things to tighten up a little more here. Troy's in that twin set, single setback, twin receivers split wide to the right.
Looks like we have a delay of game penalty, maybe.
I'd say it could be a delay of game.
Those kind of penalties are costly.
That's right.
You get momentum going, and all of a sudden you're 5 yards in a hole.
That's right. We'll be back after this message from one of our sponsors. Yeah, there's nothing breaks up the rhythm than start out 1st and 15, which is where it is now on about the Canton's 45-yard line. Hicks up under the center. He's got a single setback, tight end, and they're gonna come back to the ground game now.
That looked like the quick trap.
Right, quick trap, which looked like it was good for about 7 yards.
No, I don't think so. It looks like more like 2, 1.5. Well, wait, excuse me, they
Remember,
were
it
5
was
yards in a
1st and
hole.
15, right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay, 2nd and 8. Still an awful big second down play. Of course, you have quite a variety again. Okay, Troy's out with the single setback. Twin receivers split to the right and a split end on the left. And they're going to throw that quick look in again. Oh, that time...
The defender got caught flat-footed. He stopped.
Yeah, he did. He stopped, and I think he was looking in. I don't know why.
Well, I think he lost sight of the quarterback. One of the Canton's defenders jumped up.
I think that was Pepper. Somebody tried to go up over top of a blocker, and I thought for a minute that he might have had a hand on the ball, but the ball got over Rydell's head, and Bruce was right there. Luckily, the pass was just off his fingertips. Otherwise, it could have been a pretty easy 6. He could have kept his feet under him. Okay, Troy's back up on the ball with a single setback and that same twin flankers to the right, split end on the left. Quarterback he's not going anywhere this time. That looks like Pepper crashed in on him, and Herman, number 71. We had number 92 in the immediate area, Lyle Wisniewski. So,
well, they were in a definite passing situation. Anytime that happens, the linemen just tee off and go.
That's right. That's when it's fun, when you don't have to read, just go. Well, that brings us to the end of the first quarter with a score: Troy 0, Canton 6.
The only thing you have to worry about in a situation like that is the draw. Sometimes they'll dump it off to a back on a halfback or tailback draw. Somebody's got to stay back, protect the middle.
Right.
That first quarter went awful fast.
It sure did. Well,
I think there was only one penalty, a 5-yard delay of game penalty.
To my recollection, that's all there was. That's right. We'll be right back after this message from another one of our fine sponsors. Okay, Troy is going to punt this time. No fakes about it. It's not a particularly nice punt. About 30 yards, I guess. Little or no roll. Kind of a dead goose punt. I don't know what happened, whether somebody took the air out of the ball or what happened, but it just kind of went up and flopped down.
Never heard of the dead goose punt before.
Well, you know, some punts are pretty. They go spiraling way up in the air, and they sail like a bullet, and then hit and roll.
That must be the live goose punt.
Yeah, that must be the live goose. That's right. This is I don't know, the dead goose or the dead duck punt. I don't know. Okay, Canton comes up to the ball now. They're taking over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. They have an I formation with a flanker to the right, and they run kind of a...
Give the ball to Sean Montmer again. He's been the workhorse all year long.
Right, it's kind of a, I guess you call that the belly play, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
dive the fullback.
It's an outside belly.
Outside belly, dive the fullback, and then the halfback comes trailing, and quarterback and halfback meet, and halfback turns up into the line wherever he sees the hole there.
Some people call that the outside veer.
Right.
Housing has run that for years.
Mm-hmm. Well, this brings up 2nd and 6. There was a gain of about 4 from Mockmer on that play. I formation with a flanker to the right. The flanker comes in motion back to the left, and he's coming up inside, and Mockmer's hit early, almost in the backfield. So it appears he lost a yard there. That's going to bring up a passing situation, 3rd and 6. And see what type of...
Canton's been able to mix the pass and run pretty well this year. The sophomore quarterback, Hugh Perry's done an outstanding job.
Well, yeah, I think he surprised a lot of people with the maturity at which he's played this position. Same formation. Perry drops back to pass, and he has Mockmer wide open down the sideline.
And he threw it to the short man.
But he chose to throw to the short man.
That would be Shane Wilcox, I
Shane
believe.
Wilcox, right.
I wasn't even aware Shane was going to play. I thought he had
Mhm.
a bad foot or something.
Right.
It's pretty hard to keep a kid out of a Troy game.
Well, as I said, if kid can walk, if he's not
Yeah.
bleeding out of every pore in his body, he's going to try to play.
Yeah.
You remember.
Oh, yeah.
He's up first and 10. There's enough for the first down on that.
You've got to give a lot of
Perry
credit to the...
rolls back up. Oh, Rydell looks like might have had a hand on it. I couldn't really tell. It was he went up for it. We've had both Mockmer and Rydell open down there.
Got to give a lot of credit to the front five of Canton for giving the quarterback so much time to pass. He can drop back and pick out a receiver.
Perry's taken a fairly deep drop, I think, about 10 yards by the looks. And he seems to have plenty of time. He picks his receivers out quickly.
You have to throw on first down every once in a while to soften them up.
All right, nice
Beautiful
catch.
Beautiful
Nice catch by number 91,
Lance Larkham.
Lance Larkham. Made a regular circus catch of that. He took a spill on his head.
Another receiver with good concentration and good hands.
Is that right?
Oh, yes. I mean, anytime you go over the middle to catch a pass.
Right. Well, you have to concentrate because you're definitely going to find some unfriendly there.
You're going to be hit.
First and 10 for Canton now at the... looks like about the 45.
Left.
Baxton
Two tight end.
Baxton and I with double tight ends, and it's a screen.
Here comes the screen.
It's been a successful play this year, although it doesn't appear to be that successful at this point. Looks like they picked up about maybe 2 yards, a big 2 yards.
I imagine somebody's keying on Tony Shattuck. That's been a very successful play all year. Looked like they had a few defenders out there.
Yeah, when you read the lineman going out, then the person responsible for screen on that side better boogie on out there because it won't be long before the pass is out there. Okay, backs are in an eye again with Faust split to the right. And we have kind of a little delay to Mockmer, but he couldn't quite get off to a start here now, and loss of about a yard. They, I think, looks to me as though they've pretty well got Mockmer's number tonight, which is to be expected. He's, the leading rusher on the team. Seems that okay, Canton comes back out with the 3rd and 9 situation. Backs in an eye. Foul split to the right, to the wide side of the field. There's an option pitch out to Mockmer. He's brought down for about a 2-yard gain. It's going to bring up a 4th and about probably 7, maybe 6.
Oh, Canton ate up quite a few minutes on the clock on that drive. Got the ball from their 20-yard line.
Right.
To about the
30,
40, almost the 50-yard line.
An end-over-end punt, and it's going to take a bounce and a roll. Nobody's going to retrieve the ball and try to get a run back out of this, and the ball is down on the 11-yard line of Troy, where they'll take over 1st and 10.
Hey, when you start with the football deep in your own territory, it takes away a lot of options. So.
Right. You can't gamble quite as much when you don't have much backyard to play in. There's 11 yards between them and disaster.
But this is where you have to be very careful. Sometimes people will throw the bomb on you in this particular
That's right.
case.
Troy's in an I, backfield with a pro set flanker to the right, and they run a counter option, and he's going to pitch, and I don't know what happened to the linebacker that time, but suddenly that backyard we were talking about got a little bigger. He brings it out to Bruce is able to bring it out to about the 24-yard line, pickup of about 13 yards. That's probably been the best pickup of the night.
Our tackle, the defensive tackle for Canton, got caught inside on that. He's looked like he had the quarterback responsibility on that particular play.
Of course, our linebacker is supposed to be around in that neighborhood someplace too, I believe. And Hicks rather is back to pass. I said Bruce before, it was Hicks. He's going to scramble now, and he's got some more running room. But Pepper wisely stayed home.
I believe that was Tony Shattuck.
Oh, Shattuck. Okay, I saw Pepper in there. I thought he thought I saw him go down. I want to give credit where credit's due, certainly. Shattuck, the middle linebacker, came over and put the stop on him. It's going to bring up second and about 3 with the ball on Troy's 31-yard line. So already they've moved, they've extended that danger zone about 20 yards behind them. So now that's going to throw them into another series of play design. The pro set to the left, and he's going to throw the quick curl in to that split end on the right. Good enough for a first down. I think Troy wisely is not going for everything at once. They're picking and picking and picking away. Short passes. Seems as though the Canton defender is showing a great deal of respect for that receiver. He's backing off quite a ways. Counter option. Pitch is back to Bruce, and this time Lyle Wisniewski, the defensive end, is there to make the hit. There's a loss of about 2 yards. It'll be second.
We have an official timeout.
Okay, while we have this official's timeout, we'll take a station break for a word from our sponsors. Okay, here's the situation. Second and 11. It was a loss of about 1 rather than 2. Troy comes out now with the backs in an I, pro set to the right. It's a flanker on the right and split end to the left. Let's see if they work the same series to the left. Drops back and he crosses. He was trying to cross.
You have to give a lot of credit to the Canton defensive backfield in that situation. He had 4 or 5 seconds to throw the football, and there was nobody open.
Right, Weed and Robert were running a crossing pattern in the middle, and well, Hicks ran out of time finally. Brings up third and about 13 for the Trojans. They're in a slot I with a slot left this time to the wide side of the field. Hicks under the ball. Quick pitch to the tailback, Bruce, and he's got some room, but
good recovery by the outside linebacker. The defensive halfback came up and made the stop on that.
Right. It looked like he had a lot of daylight ahead of him, and all of a sudden there wasn't any anymore.
Somehow Canton's defensive end got caught inside again.
Mm-hmm.
That's always the responsibility of a defensive end. You keep everything inside so the linebackers and defensive linemen can make the stop.
Well, once the ball carrier's around the corner, it's West Coast mirrors and air horns to the goal line.
I doubt if they'll try a fake punt on this in this situation.
I wouldn't expect them to. Wisniewski almost got a piece of the ball. He was in there. Ball is taken by Mockmer on about the 40, and he returns it to about the Troy, on the Canton 40, and returns it to about the Troy 49-yard line, somewhere in there. 47, somewhere in there. He had the wall, but a few people penetrated that wall on the return and
looked like
shut him down for it. Still a respectable gain. Puts Canton in good field position with 3 minutes left in the first half. Still leading 6-0. Canton out over the ball. I formation with the wide receiver to the right. About in the middle of the field, and the ball's given to the fullback, Shattuck, who bowls ahead. That's a good gain of about probably 4 to 5 yards, respectable. on any down.
Yeah, it seems like Canton's been trying to run a lot outside with not much success lately. The straightest distance to the shortest distance to the goal line is straight ahead.
That's
and,
right. I don't know how they match up weight-wise across the front lines, but it appears that Canton has an edge in weight maybe and some quickness off the ball. They should be able to drive Troy right back off the line of scrimmage, and so probably that's the best thing, to run basic straight-ahead right at them football. It's nothing fancy. It's not really the crowd-pleasing type of play, but it gets results. We have a 3rd and 4 situation with the ball on the Troy 40-yard line. 2:01 left in the second quarter. Canton comes out with a split backfield, wing back to the left, goes in motion to the right, and a bootleg. And he picks up the first down by the looks. He concealed the ball. I thought he was going to be in trouble there for a minute. A Troy player, I guess the defensive end, had kind of boxed into the backfield, but he stepped up inside and was able to convert it for the first down. Keep the drive alive. It's good. Now they're going to have to make good use of the clock.
The fact that there's only been, I guess, one penalty, right?
Right.
Delay of game penalty.
Clean
Pays
ball
tribute
game.
to both teams.
Right.
I mean, a game as big as this, you always know you're going to get good, clean football.
Right.
And you have to give the boys and the coaching staff a lot of credit for that.
Well, even though it is, as you said, always an emotional game, they're keeping their heads out there. I mean, they're not, they're definitely thinking rather than, they're playing with their heads as well as their hearts.
I don't know if Canton has all 3 timeouts left or not. I believe so. I don't remember them taking a timeout before.
I haven't really been paying attention to that myself.
Very critical.
Of play selected, and I don't know exactly what you'd call this. It looks like a double wing with a single fullback, and we're going to reverse, and we're going to get in trouble here. They read that all the way, I think. We sent the right wing back in motion to the left, and then the fullback dove. They faked to him, and the left wing back came back and across to take the ball on the right, and kind of an inside reverse, and got him in a little trouble. It's going to be 2nd and 15 now. In fact, there was a loss of 5 on the play. That play was red and dead.
They had good intentions. They sent Montmer in motion one way, and usually he draws a crowd.
Right.
And they came back the other way. But the left side of Troy's defensive line stayed home. And,
right. Which again is exactly what they're supposed to do. Sometimes you get a little anxious. You want to get in on that tackle and bang some heads, and you forget that you have responsibilities, and you get caught flat-footed. Canton comes with an offset backfield to the left, wide receiver to the left. And they're apparently going to be passing this time, and they dump it into
Lance Rydell.
Lance Rydell. He came from, the right end, I guess.
Made an excellent catch. It was
Right.
behind him. The kid's playing with a very sore thumb. They thought it might even be broken, which is not good for a receiver, but
No.
but the kid has excellent hands. He made a very good catch on that pass.
Right. That got him out of big trouble. So that was definitely the clutch catch. Yeah, I remember seeing Rydell around school earlier in the week, sitting down working on a chemistry experiment with Tony Shattuck, and he had his hand in some sort of a device.
Little
Little brace, I
plastic
guess.
splint,
More or less,
they
soft
had.
splint, yeah.
So we have an official's timeout again.
All right, we've got a minute and 9 seconds left in the quarter. Okay, Canton comes up to the ball now, and they've got split backfield. Excuse me, a split backfield, a wide receiver to the right, to the wide side, and Perry rolls right, looks downfield. He's got receivers. Oh, man. Just over the hands of Lyle Riddle, who was curling into the middle from the left-hand side, and excuse me, Jason Faust was into the end zone, but of course there wasn't enough oomph on the pass to get it there. Perry had to scramble at the last second.
He threw off balance a little bit.
Right. Yeah, as they tell you, the professionals tell you, when you have to throw off balance, it takes a lot out of the ball.
Sure will.
It was still a relatively well thrown ball. I mean, it wasn't a wobbly pass or anything, but it needed a little more zip to get it there. Can't back out split backs with the or they're offset, I guess, to the right. Going to throw. Perry rolls out to the right. The tackle in pursuit. He's got a man open. He had Rob Hill in the end zone, and I think it would have been to Hill's credit if he'd have turned around a little quicker. You could see that the ball was high.
When you see the quarterback scrambling, you have to head to an open spot. Best place would be right in the end zone.
Right, he was free and clear. If he had turned and gotten a little bit deeper, the ball was, you could see the ball was going to be high. He just turned a little too late.
With the fact that Boo Perry knows where the down markers are, believe me,
Right.
because he pulled up just short to throw that one.
It's 3rd and 10 now. There's 51 seconds left. Timeout on the field. So with this timeout, we'll take a commercial break.
We'd like to take this opportunity to wish Jack Raskin a happy 40th birthday.
What do you think Coach Moyer's going to pull out of his bag of tricks down here now? You've got 3rd and 10 on your opponent's 26-yard line.
Well, he needs a first down above all. It is
Right.
3rd down, and he still has a lot of time. He has
Right.
some timeouts left, or at least one timeout.
I would say, okay, the fullback Shattuck goes in motion.
There we go. We have motion by the left end.
That's too bad. Yep, Riddle, the left end, jumped a little bit. I think maybe the left tackle might have, I saw his back hump up a little bit. So somebody got a little bit confused on the snap count.
That happens every once in a while when you start sending kids in motion and the
That's
snap
true.
count's a little bit longer. I see Lyle Wisniewski felt very bad about dropping that pass that was just thrown to him, but it wouldn't have been any good anyway because
No,
there was a 5-yard penalty on
Right,
the
there wasn't
offense.
really anything lost. Now we've got a 4th and 10. That's right. The penalty was declined. They'll take the down on that one. 5 yards back isn't going to make that much difference, so take the down. 47 seconds left. Canton comes out to the ball. Got a backs are offset right with a wide receiver to the right. Hill, I believe that is. Perry takes a snap and drops straight back. He's got Mockmer wide open, but Perry threw into tight coverage there. Number, I think it was 23 for Troy. Tim Robert was back there tight defending with another Troy defender, and he got a hand in there at the last minute and knocked that ball down. So Troy will take over on downs, 1st and 10 on their own 25 with 41 seconds left. And now I think maybe you're going to see some of that wide open stuff.
I don't know if Troy will put the ball in the air or not. It'll settle to go into halftime for just a 6-0 lead. I guess we'll find out right now, won't we?
Right.
Or 6-0, just being behind 6-0, excuse me.
Right. Well, he's going to throw. Here comes that interception. Oh, Mockmer, he's probably just about pooped out there now.
That's a tough. He threw that so high. That's a tough pass to
Right.
defend. I mean, when a defensive halfback's sitting back there and has
That's
5
all-
seconds to wait for the ball to come down, sometimes you misjudge your jump.
Sure. Well, that's almost like trying to shag a punt when it comes down out of the lights when it's thrown that high.
Yeah.
But
No,
it
it's-
certainly looked like Montmer was all set for a nice interception right there.
It's a pretty nice night out tonight. It's fairly cold,
yeah.
but I'm sure the players don't feel it.
No.
At least it's not raining or snowing like the
Right.
forecast.
Troy's in an I now with a pro set to the left, and he's going to take a quick, quick short drop and try to hit the split end. Number
A lot
7,
of pressure on him that time.
Darren Weed with about a 6-yard pass, but it falls incomplete. Brings up 3rd and 10.
Canton could get the ball back. You never know.
32 seconds. It's possible. It's possible.
I don't know if Canton has any timeouts left or not. Do you remember?
I really can't tell you. Troy's in
We
an
have to
I,
keep better track of
pro
timeouts, I
right.
think.
Yeah, definitely. I, pro right, pro back on the right-hand side of the field, and they try a counter dive to the fullback.
I think they'd run the ball to
I
run
think
some of the...
that's probably designed mostly to run the clock out, Jim, to eat up a little, a running play is going to run the time down a little bit. You're talking about Troy seemingly content to go into the locker room behind only 6-0, and, well, they should be.
I would imagine Canton will go for this one.
I think so. I mean, there's, you have nothing to lose. With 23 seconds, you have very little time to put together an offensive drive, so you might as well see if you can't get lucky again. And
I believe
get
they're
a
going to
piece of
send
it.
him because I see Sean Mockmer is sitting back deep by himself. No, wait a second. I think they might go for a return. Looks like Tony Shattuck has come back
Right.
deep with Sean Mockmer. It's
now,
6
let
of
me,
one and
let me
half a
ask
dozen
you
of
something.
another.
Now, you see the two guys going back there. Do you think there's a possibility of a reverse?
Oh, there's
fake
always that
reverse?
possibility. There's always that
The
possibility.
two back there, I mean,
I haven't seen them do that this year, but it's always a possibility.
right. Well, you've got two guys back there that have good speed, probably as much speed as anybody else on the team.
As I
Sure
was going to say,
hands.
it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You can go for the block, or you can try to set up a wall and score.
Right.
I guess they elected to go for the wall. Oh, we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like they might be looking for, a last-ditch gamble here. He's definitely going to put it up, and it doesn't look like we're going to get any kind of a return on it, but we don't have bad field position to start out. We have 10 seconds left in the first half. Score still 6-0 Canton.
I think it's probably time for the old Harold Mary, maybe.
Right. Let's just hope the receivers don't have to turn into instant defenders. Perry's back in a shotgun now, and he's got, holy cow, he's got everybody and his sister out there. He's got 2 split ends and 3 wide receivers, and he's back and going to throw the ball.
Hail Mary.
Flooded the zones, and the ball is up and tapped by one Troy receiver, and I think we had more people around the ball that time than we did on the line of scrimmage when the play ended. But you're right, the old Hail Mary pass. Okay, that's the end of the first half with a score Canton 6, Troy nothing. We'll be back after these commercial messages with some halftime statistics and some other points of both halftime, and have a surprise guest, Jim Reed, former coach of the Canton Warriors. And Jim, what's your impression of the game so far?
Well, neither team has done a whole lot offensively. Canton's been able to bottle Troy up in their own end of the field for most of the game, and we took advantage of that in our only score by covering a block punt in the end zone. It seems like the Troy players are fired up, and they're kind of staying with us up front.
Right. I think that often is the case. You bring in 2 high-powered offenses, such as Canton and Troy feature, and you have the emotional aspect of the game, and I think it's going to come down, as it has so far, it's going to remain a defensive struggle. Somebody's going to have to make a break for his offense to get on track.
Canton gets the ball, I believe they'll
Right.
receive the kickoff at the beginning of the second half.
Right.
And I think it's imperative that they put on some sort of drive. Whether they score or not on that drive, I don't know, but they've got to move the football.
Well, the score right now is 6-0 in favor of Canton, and I really don't think the 6 points is going to be the margin in the ball game. As you said, Canton has mounted a couple of drives, moved the ball, eaten up some pretty good yardage and a substantial portion of the clock, really controlled things, but they haven't seemed to get that offense really on track. A couple of nice gains, and then
We've got to get our running
bogged
game
down.
going.
Right.
That's all there is to it. It seemed like we had real good success running at them. And they seem to be keying on Sean Mottner. Maybe, hopefully, they'll run the fullback a little bit more in the second half.
We'll wait
and see.
I think if we do give the ball to Shattuck a few times, that it puts a little more element of surprise in the attack, perhaps. Of course,
He's a good, strong runner, and
right. He's a big fella too. I mean, by stretching out, he ought to be able to get 2 or 3 yards.
Really boils down to one thing, and we have to block up front. That's all there is to it.
I imagine some people are somewhat disappointed because they expect Canton to come in here and blow the doors right off the park and take a body count with them, and they haven't seen that yet. But I think that's just been the first half. Has been kind of a situation of feeling the other's strengths and weaknesses.
That was a surprisingly fast first half.
Right, penalty-free, relatively penalty-free.
Shortly after 9 o'clock, and halftime is over, and we're going to start the second half already.
Right, I think you're going to see a whole new game out here the second half. I think the time for caution probably is over. I think you're going to see people go to basic football right at them.
Have to control the football and stay away from mistakes. That's the name of the game right now.
Well, we're about ready for the second half kickoff. Both teams have taken the field.
Has everything to lose by not winning this football game. And
that's true.
Troy has nothing to gain.
Right.
And so what we're going to have to do is, or what Canton's going to have to do is come out and just start dominating the line of scrimmage.
Right.
That's basically what we're going to do.
After a short kick that rolled out on the Canton's 23, looks as though they'll kick the ball over again. Might add, we were supposed to have a visit to the booth by someone who was going to bring us some statistics, but didn't materialize. So
guess they'll just have to read about it in the paper tomorrow.
Right. Okay, so Troy backs up 5 yards. They'll be kicking now from their own 35. Well, let's hope that Canton's able to spring somebody on a good return. Kind of a low wobbling kick taken by
Jeff Pepper.
Larkham.
No, it's Jeff.
Oh, Jeff Pepper. Excuse me, Jeff Pepper.
I believe he tripped over his blocker on that.
Right. He hesitated a second to let the blocker get ahead of him and got those big feet tangled up.
Well, he did the right thing by waiting for his blocker.
Right. So Canton takes the ball now, 1st and 10 on their own about 37-yard line approximately. So we'll see what kind of changes have been made by.
I have no idea what's going on right now. Is there an injured Canton player or what?
Somebody's down in the field. Yeah. Well, no, I would say it's a Troy player because the Troy coach ran over there and. I mean, not that they aren't compassionate people, but you seldom see the coach run over to the opposite side of the field when it's the opponent's players. So I would say somebody from Troy is down on the field. Hope it's not a serious injury. I mean, football is definitely a physical game, but you still hate to see people get hurt. Sometimes those injuries plague you your life long. While we're waiting for play to resume, we'll go to a commercial break.
Looks like the injured person was Josh Bruce, the tailback for Troy. He seems to be, he's walking off under his own power.
Yeah, that
might have his bell rung or something.
Right. It looks like he's kind of grabbing the back of his head. He might have pinched a nerve, butted heads with somebody. That's what it appears to be. Thank goodness it wasn't a serious injury in the neck area like that. Well, we're ready to resume play now. Canton's ball 1st and 10 on their own about 37. Their backs are in an eye with a wide receiver to the right, to the wide side of the field. Gives to the fullback, and he breaks it. He's going to go all the way.
Goodbye. There it is.
Just
we ran at him. It looked like that little quick fullback trap right up the middle.
That's right, and just the type of thing we were talking about. A counter play, take a little of the heat off Mockmer, a little of the attention. They gave it to that Tony Shattuck, and he bowled through the line, and it was all over.
Tony Shattuck has grown by leaps and bounds as a runner this year. He's picked his holes well. He's followed his blockers. When he gets in the open field, he is deadly, believe me.
All right, he's a speedy kid.
Oh, no,
for
it looks
as big
like a
as he is.
penalty.
Yep, that's a shame.
I didn't see the flag down.
Neither did I. Somebody was guilty of something, and it looks like it's going to be I didn't see the indication, but it's going to be a pretty good size one.
Must have been holding or something inside. It's a
It's
10-yard
about
penalty.
10-yard penalty. I guess that's for offensive holding. Now I've kind of lost track of what the penalties are over the years. Nevertheless, that's definitely the type of thing that Canton needs to go back to its basics. Okay, they're an eye with a wing left, and come to Mockmer this time, a power dive, what we call a wham play, up to the 30, gain of about 5 yards. Cannon's been averaging about 5 yards a carry offensively, rushing this year, and that's impressive. And when you can pick up a first down in 2 plays, that gives you lots of room to work. That's a shame. Shattuck, to get back to that play, boy, he broke through, shook a tackler off, and away he went. Backs in an eye with the wing left. We're going to...
There's a case where I think the receiver tried to run with the ball before he had it. It was right in his hands. I believe...
it was Rob Hill, I think, number 36.
I think he was looking downfield before he had his
Could be
the ball under control.
Right, you have to remember you got to catch the ball, then run, in that order. Well, it's
would have been a nice game.
Right, 3rd and 15. Well, and he had some room there. He had one defender to beat, and he'd have been gone. Well, the back's in an eye with the wide receiver split right, and let's see if maybe they run the same type of thing this time. Now they give to the fullback again. Come back to Shattuck. This time there's not the room that there was before. He picks up about 4 yards, though.
I think if they stay with those kinds of plays and try to stay out of the hole, they'll be in good shape.
Right, now that brings up a 4th down and about 13 yards. Punting situation at this phase of the game. It'll be, the ball is on Canton's about 34-yard line. Mockmer's back deep to punt. Troy's got Bruce and Robert back to receive.
Looks like a snap.
Not a pretty kick, but it takes a high bounce and gets a pretty good roll of about almost 10 yards to the Troy about 27, 26 yard line, somewhere down in there.
About a 45-yard punt.
Right. As I said, not pretty as punts go, not a high sailor, but did the job. So we'll see what Troy has in its offensive bag of tricks for the second half as they take over on about their own 27.
I think Canton did come out fired up, especially up front. The blocking up front seemed to be much better.
Right.
Even though we didn't run very many plays, but we gained good yardage on every running play
the
that we
first
ran.
play from scrimmage, start of the second half, we popped Shattuck loose for the touchdown. Unfortunately, we had it called back. Hicks was rushed considerably that time, and that's what they're going to have to do to keep things honest in there. They tried to curl a wide receiver out on the right flat, or on the left flat rather, and good pressure on the quarterback forced him to throw the ball short. Brings up 2nd and 10 for Troy, under 26. Troy sets up with an I formation and a pro set with a pro back, that is a flanker on the right, split end to the left, fake to the fullback, give to the fullback, and he picks up about maybe 3 yards.
You could almost see that coming. They tried to split us out, and you could see the big, looks like Canton recovered a fumble.
Yeah, I didn't
There's
even
a break
see
for
that.
Canton. Very good.
Definitely a good break to come up with some field position like that. They're going to take it First and 10 on Troy's 29.
This is where Canton has to punch one in right now.
That's right. They can't waste an opportunity. This could break Troy's back if they can capitalize on Troy's mistake. Backs appear to be offset left with a wing left, and they're going to go to an outside power.
Good leg drive by Sean Montmer on that play.
Right. Pickup of about probably, what would you say, 8 yards on that, 7 to 8 yards.
That's the kind of play you want on first down.
That's what's gotten Canton this far in the league this year is
picking up. We've been able to pick up good yardage on first down for the most part of the year.
Right. You've got to have that a good follow-up performance on whatever your play is on second down. Of course, backs are in an eye now with a wide receiver to the right.
We almost broke that one.
That was the fullback, Shattuck again, and let's see, we've got a little shoving going on in here now, and well, we don't need any unnecessary, definitely don't need any foolishness like that. Let's we need to see good, solid football. First and 10 on Troy's about 17, I would say. Backs are in an I with a slot to the left. Let's look for a power play inside. And again, it is. Mockmer takes the ball running behind Shattuck up into the left side of the line, and he picks up about 2 yards maybe.
Well, Troy stunted a linebacker on that play. The linebacker almost overran the play, but he was able to get his hands on the running back to hold him for a short gain.
I haven't really paid too close attention to the defensive alignment that Troy's using. Can you tell what they're running offhand?
Defensively, they're running the old 4-4.
4-4, right.
Two
Okay,
linebackers
backs in an
inside.
eye, slot left, and this is a bootleg, and boy, it's there. He's got the
Wide
speed
open.
to do it.
Beautiful fake by Sean Montmer. I was watching Sean Montmer, and I thought for sure he had the ball.
So did I. But
I mean, people were still trying to tackle him over there on the left side.
That's right.
Oh, no.
We've got another flag on the play. We've got a clip on that bootleg. That's unfortunate. That's gonna bring the play back, negate a decent gain.
I don't know who the clip was on.
I don't either. Now that often happens when you get somebody turning his back, going with a fake one way, and he turns and. Well, that's going to set us back 15 yards now, so it's going to be second and 23. Well, we've got some room to operate down there, so let's see. I would say expect a pass at this point, perhaps. What do you bet? We see some action from Rydell this play?
Yeah, I'd stick to something short. They still have second down. Let them throw the ball. Let them run with it.
Okay, and he runs the option. Well, we're both wrong there. Mockmer turns it on outside down the lane, and
good yardage.
He's brought down. Yeah, he had a nice gain. Didn't get the first down back, of course, but
Sean's been nagged by a strained muscle in the front part of his leg. Doesn't seem to be slowing him down right now, but I'm sure he can feel it.
Well, the cold bus at halftime that had him stiffen up a little bit with that, and was probably pulling a little on him. You see him every once in a while checking his leg.
No, you couldn't really tell on that play, I guess.
No.
I think the old adrenaline is flowing right now.
Okay, Canton comes up to the ball, 3rd and 13. Backs in an I with a wide receiver to the left. And Perry will drop back, and it's a screen pass to Shattuck.
Set up screen.
And he's going to take it in.
There he goes. Goodbye.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Okay, there's
now
one
let's
of
look
the
for
old
flags.
rebels.
No flags. That looks like a good, clean play.
I'll be darned.
Now, we've only tried 2 screen passes so far. The one screen pass they had pretty well defended, but this screen pass they had the timing down just perfect. Those 3 linemen were out front blocking, and
there were 4 Troy defenders back there. But if you can give Shattuck the ball and a little room to run, he's a wise runner.
You better believe
skillful runner.
Yes, sir. He followed his blocks well. He's a big boy, probably 195 pounds.
Well, easily.
It's pretty
that.
hard to tackle in the open field by,
Good height.
especially arm tackling.
Go for the two-point conversion now. Backs offset to the right, and slot back, or the flanker comes to the right, and he
There we
fired
go.
into the end zone, and we have
It's
a two-point
complete
conversion.
to Sean Mockmer.
Complete to Mockmer. He was the offset back to the right, and he takes it on a short pass into the end zone. Two-point conversion. The score is now
There's
Troy,
the cushion that Canton needed right there.
Right. Canton 14, Troy nothing. Right. Canton had to take advantage of that field position down there, and thought for a minute it was going to be all for naught with that holding or that clipping penalty on that bootleg. But
Shows a lot of character. They came back.
Sure does.
Gained some good yardage.
Well, this is going to give them a little bit of a margin here now. We'll see what happens if things break open a little more now.
This Canton team has played well all year, and they're young.
Right.
Showed a lot of composure.
And a lot of promise for the future, too. Short kick taken by Hulslander on about the 25, and he picks up about maybe about 7 yards. Hulslander, I know, played in the backfield for a while. They finally moved him back to the line. They got in a little trouble up on the line and needed him up there. I happen to know that because he's my wife's cousin.
Little inside info, huh?
Oh, yeah, a little inside information there. So Troy takes over 1st and 10 on their own, about 30.
Well, you can bet
I'm going to say about
Troy's
33.
You can bet Troy's going to air it out now.
Right, they've got to shake something loose here and come up with a quick score now. We have 6:29 left in the third quarter, and right away they go to the pass, and he's got lots of room. Darren Weed was wide receiver, split end. He split out and ran about a 10-yard pattern, and
that's the case with the defensive halfback. Is going to give up the short yardage right now, but right now they don't need to give up the long gainer.
No, you have to work too hard for a score to give him back so easily. So he gave him a good buffer there, and then came up to make the hit, and he ended up in about a 5-yard gain.
That's the problem with having to put the ball up in the air so much. It's a 50-50 chance. It's anybody's ball once the ball's in the air.
That's right. Well, as they say, a lot of things can happen when you throw the ball and only one of them's good. Single setback, twin receivers, a middle screen, and Shattuck is there to
good defensive play
snag
by
his
the
leg
middle
and hold him
linebacker.
up until 42 Reeve Mott, one of the other outside linebackers, could come up and put the hit on him.
It's a good thing the middle linebacker,
That's
or
right.
One of the inside linebackers, stayed home that
Right.
time. Once I saw all those defensive linemen for
There were a lot of
Canton surrounding the quarterback, you could almost smell middle screen.
Yeah, you could smell screen, and you could see too that it was looking pretty barren of white jerseys in there for a minute.
Sure was.
And that could easily have turned into the play we talked about.
I'd hate to be the quarterback in that situation.
Right. Well, that takes a lot of composure to stand there, and then at the last minute flip it over their heads. We've got a power set, tailback and an offset, and we're going to come straight ahead, right off left tackle with Josh Bruce, and he picks up enough for the first down. It brings the ball out to the Troy 45-yard line. There's 5:27 to go in the third quarter. Score still 14-0. Hulslander brings the Troy line up to the ball, and things are spread out pretty good now. We've got twin wide receivers to the right, a split end to the left, single back, and we're going to throw that little curl-in pass again, kind of a little delay there to Darren Weed again, and he picks up another about 5 yards, a little over 5 yards.
You can see what Troy's trying to set up. They're trying to set up that out and up.
Right.
They
Yeah, you
keep
can
sending
see
that kid out in that little
out
short
and out
square
and,
out, and pretty soon he's going to bust down the sideline. That's why Boo Perry has to give him a little bit of room, just for that reason.
Right.
But Boo's a darn good open field tackler, and you just saw it on that play right there.
Mhm.
And believe me, tackling somebody in the open field is not easy.
A lot of room around him.
You better believe
come
it.
again with the same
Now,
play.
there's
This
a
time
case
he gets
where he
by
missed
him.
him.
No sooner done than
No sooner,
said.
yeah.
Credit him, and he misses that tackle.
Yeah.
Well, that's
But
all right.
there was a lot of pursuit by the rest of the Canton defense.
Right. So that substantial gain brings up 1st and 10 now on they finally cross midfield and they're down to the Canton about 37-yard line. I think this is about the deepest penetration Troy's had into Canton territory tonight, isn't it?
The problem with that little short out pass like that is it's hard to put pressure on a quarterback. It happens so fast.
Right. Well, this is designed to do that because they've been getting
There
impression.
he goes.
He fakes that, and there
down.
goes that down and out you were talking about. The ball was
Dodged the
right
bullet
there
on
the
that
money.
one.
Yep.
There was that out and up I was talking
hit him,
about.
right.
Really wasn't really even out and up. He just kind of stutter stepped a little bit,
Yep.
and that brought our defensive half back up, and then he blew by.
Right. Well, I think we were lucky, as you said. We dodged a bullet there. The pass was there, but maybe just a hair short. It seemed to hit Weed on the shoulder pad, but I think probably that'll keep Boo Perry on his toes.
I think
don't
we
look
will
for
remember
that to
that one
happen
for a
again.
while. It's pretty.
Right. That's
It's,
going to be one of those he dreams about all weekend, the pass that could have been. Troy comes out now, and they're twin receivers to the right with a tight end, single setback. And they're going to throw to Weed again on the left. This time,
Good defensive play that
right.
time.
Perry was right there and cut him off. If he, Weed had no chance at the ball. Perry took away.
Perry had a better chance at the ball that time.
Right. So
I know what it
we said,
feels
here's
like
a sophomore
to
that's got
drop
a
a
lot of
pass out in the open, believe me. I had one hit me right in the face mask. I was about 20 yards in the open.
Well,
It's very embarrassing.
right. Well, I understand when it hits you in the head like that. Okay,
Yeah.
same. We got a pro set with double receivers.
Oh, there we got movement on
Troy
the
Lyman
offensive
jumped
line.
off. Now, whether he was drawn off by our defense, because I saw two of Canton's defenders jump about the same time. So somebody, they're going to call offsides against Troy. Of course, the crowd had the expert officials that we always have attending games in the crowd disagree with that call, but.
See, we have 4:44 on the clock right now.
Right.
Canton's old bread and butter plays. What do you
Is
think about that?
symbolic or what?
Some of the old Canton Warriors will remember that play, believe me.
Troy comes out again with their twins set to the right, single setback, a split end to the left. And the
everybody but the center moved. I think that the center forgot the snap count on that one.
Did I say I knew that kid?
Yeah. It's your wife's cousin, not yours.
Right, that's right. It's my wife's cousin, not mine. Oh, you get a few mistakes now and then.
Oh, yeah.
I know Dennis has had his bell rung a couple times, and maybe he heard the chiming there one time, and not the snap count. Okay, Troy's gonna come out again and give it a shot here. It's 3rd and a bunch, 3rd and 20. Come out with a split end to the left and twins to the right, single setback. Hicks drops back, short drop back, and he runs a sideline pass to Weed, and
That's a very
just
questionable call on that one.
well, Weed managed to drag his toes, I guess, before he fell out of bounds there.
It was close. That was
Our
a case where
defender-
the defensive halfback has to start looking for the ball a little bit sooner.
I think so. The ball's there. I think he could take an opportunity to pick that ball off. Of course, I can understand his hesitation. He's been bamboozled once, and that's gotta make him a little bit leery. But the ball is there for the picking. He was there to cover him. I mean, there was no gain after that. He fell out of bounds. Same set, and he rolls down the right side of the line. We've got a defensive end missing there someplace. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
I think he got fooled a little bit. Hicks took the ball and stepped up just off tackle. And looked like, it was Weed and Hicks coming at Perry, and then we got some support. Actually, I think it was Pepper that came back and made the tackle.
Well, I think it was Tony Shattuck.
Shattuck? Okay.
If you ever want to find Tony Shattuck, just look for the
for the
football
ball,
because he's
right.
always around it. He's had a whale of a year defensively
Mm-hmm.
and offensively. Well,
Yeah,
we have to hold here.
he's had some hard luck. He's had, I guess, several touchdowns called back this year because of penalties.
I believe so.
I mean, the guy can certainly score when he's given the ball. Troy comes out now. They're on the Canton 15-yard line. The deepest penetration of the night. They still have that twin wide receivers right with a split end left, single setback. And they're going to throw to Weed, curl him inside again. And it's short little passes, enough for a first down again.
That's pretty good throwing down right there. When you have second and short yardage, you still have 2 downs to get the first down.
You have the whole playbook to draw from right there on second down with the short gain like that. So they're down to the Canton 10, and this is by far their best sustained drive of the night.
Usually
they're doing all the right things, but we'll see if
Pepper's knocked down a lot of passes this year.
Right.
Maybe he'll get his hands on one of those.
Same offensive set, only this time to the left. Hicks attempts the option. He has a pitch man out there. Of course, on your screen, it might have looked as though the pitch man were uncovered, but rest assured, he's not out there. He's got a shadow in the form of 92, Lyle Wisniewski, the defensive end. Mockmer looking over to the sidelines to pick up the defensive signal. This is where the true test of both teams comes, inside the 10-yard line. A lot of times teams think they've got that far and it's going to be easy coasting, and there are no harder 10 yards on the whole field than from here on in. We've got twins to the left with the split end to the right. He makes a pitch this time, and as I alluded to before, there's the shadow, Lyle Wisniewski, stopping him for about a 2-yard loss.
The defense actually has the advantage in this situation because the offense doesn't have that much field to work with anymore.
Right. Yeah, it kind of cuts down those pass routes.
The defensive halfbacks can play a lot tighter.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have to play a lot tighter, too, because it works just the opposite. You have only the 10 yards before they cross pay dirt.
How much you want to make a bet they're going to try that little out pass again?
It'd be my guess. They've got a little more room to the wide side here. They have twin receivers split out to the right, single setback, and that Darren Weed to the left. And, of course, Hicks throws up the pass, and this time he's there. He does get the step behind Damon Perry and manages to hang on the ball. The ball was perfectly thrown, and good catch was made, and Troy finally breaks the double zeros off the board. Score is now Canton 14, Troy 6. Well, Troy couldn't hope for anything but a score on this. I mean, if they had failed to keep the drive alive and score here, I would say that would have been about the end of the game. Look for them, I would say, to possibly try it. Well, no, I guess not, unless they have a fake extra point kick in their repertoire. They have the place kicker out there. Puts a little heat on him, too.
Troy normally kicks their extra points.
Can you see who the kicker is, what his number is? 30-something,
no,
isn't it? Oh, it's 3? Is it? Oh, 3, Randy Gilliland. There's a bad snap, and that's going to be it.
Yes, sir.
Well, maybe that will come down to the difference in the game now if Troy's able to keep their momentum alive. So the extra point attempt is muffed with a bad snap and poor handling of the ball, and Canton defense was right in there to smother any hope of broken play antics. We'll pause right now for a word from our sponsors. Well, the momentum, at least momentarily, seems to have swung to the Trojans on that drive. Let's see if they can keep it up. Short, squibby kick. It's going to go out of bounds again on about the Canton 27-yard line, so they'll back it up and kick again.
The only good news about that last drive that Troy put on is that they had to eat up a lot of the clock.
True. We're down to 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in the third quarter. Well engineered and executed drive. As I said before, you have two really finesse offenses going at one another. A lot of strategy and design in these teams here. And it's It's really good to see. It's interesting to watch. Yolen gets a foot down under. There's a
Jay
high
Faust.
short kick to Jay Faust, and he's got a hole.
Oh, he almost broke that one.
Popped up. He takes it out to about the 47-yard line. He had a hole there for a minute. If he'd had it just
Jay's
half
one of
a
the
step.
fastest kids on our team, I believe.
Yeah, deceptive. He's a little guy with big guy speed. Well, Canton will take the ball now, 1st and 10 on the 48-yard line. 2:21 left in the third quarter. We'll see now if that livens things up a little bit. They had a good drive before. A little bit of a letdown defensively. Troy picked away, and they go right back to Shattuck. This time that play is smothered for maybe a yard, if anything. Although it appears that they're not going to credit him with any type of a gain on that. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Here's that second down. Gives you a wide play selection. We have several people back into the game. 55 just went out of the game. I don't have his number listed on the program.
I believe that's John Brackman. He started out as an offensive end,
I see.
and he switched back to.
Okay, look. Shattuck was open down the sideline. Unfortunately, he wasn't looking for the ball. Boo had to. I think the play was designed to be a little deeper pass. And
Well, it looked like they were trying to set up the screen, and what happened was they might have had the screen covered, and Tony decided when that happens,
he breaks.
the receiver is supposed to break down the
Breaks.
sideline.
Yeah, he did the right thing insofar as he broke out ahead of his lineman. He had to get downfield, but he should have been looking for the ball because he had some clearance down there, and of course, if he could have taken it in full stride, that was gone. Baxton and I with the tailback in motion, single setback to the right. Perry rolls to the right, and he's going to throw it out on the flat to Mockmer, but the pass is short and causes Mockmer to go down right there where he catches it. So there's a gain of about maybe 3 to 4 yards, somewhere in there.
This is where Canton has to put him in a hole and him there
Right.
again.
4th down, and I would say look for the punter on Troy's 48-yard line. After that last series,
No,
no
it's not a
doubt
good.
in my mind, you don't gamble now. You kick the ball and put him down there.
Pin him down deep.
Right. Mockmer ought to be kicking from right to left, going for that coffin corner. Got a lot of room over that way if he can get it that way.
Beautiful punt.
Shattuck keeps 2 people out. The ball comes up a little bit short, taken by Robert. I think that was. If not, he's getting a lot of credit for things he didn't do. And so Troy will take over now. First and 10 on its own, about 24-yard line.
He's
44 seconds left in the third quarter with a score of Canton 14, Troy 6. Troy comes out in that familiar set, single split end to the left, double wide receivers to the right, and they're going to send Old Weed deep. And this time, Mockmer is there on him to break it up.
I see they changed up things a little bit defensively. They have Sean Mockmer out covering number 7. Who's number 7?
That's Darren Weed. He's the boy that caught the touchdown before. He had been working against Perry all night, and they flip-flopped halfbacks, apparently. Mockmer, he had a chance, and it's been there all night. If you can get him to those defensive halves to become alert to the fact that that ball's coming down there, they should be able to step in and snatch one away. But in here, the breaking up the pass is as good as the interception, almost. Same set, only this time to the left, and a square out Weed again to the sidelines, and
He lost the football.
He lost the ball out of bounds, and that boy was off to the races. He had beaten both defenders on that square out, and he must have walked a tightrope of a sideline down there. I don't know whether he lost the ball or maybe it hit one of the people standing on the Troy sidelines. Might have hit his elbow, but definitely lost an opportunity there because he had the room to go. It's 1st and 10 now on Troy's 40, about 47-yard line, 46-yard line.
Looks like we have an official's timeout again.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. See Lance Rydell getting the guys up down there, going along, cracking some heads, patting some backs.
Lance has been a team leader all year.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is definitely the time to keep the guys on their toes. So Weeds new shadow, Sean Mockmer, follows him out to the right. We have Baxton and I. We're going to run the option now, and he gets almost got the pitch away. I thought he did get it away for a minute, but he's brought down there by number 74, Kurt Fitzwater, one of the interior linemen.
Canton's playing very tough defense against the run this in this game.
Well, Troy for years used to burn people badly on the option. People just couldn't play it, and
Canton's always defensively option
right.
well.
Canton has figured out a way to play the option, and people just don't run the option against Canton anymore, it seems.
We only had a problem once this year, if I recall, and that was against Wellsboro. It seemed like the quarterback had a little room to run when we played Wellsboro, but we finally solved that problem, and after that he didn't have any room to run anymore. But.
Well, at the end of the third quarter now, Troy 6, Canton 14. We'll be back in a moment after a word from one of our sponsors. Well, one thing, Jim, I told you that before the game it was going to be a thrilling game, and I think it's been all of that. I think it would have been a little disappointing to have it all one-sided one way or the other. Troy
I'd
comes
rather
with
see it
spread offense,
lopsided in Canton's favor.
and he's hanging in there, but he's going to be eating the football this time. Lyle Wisniewski and 79, that must be Jason Davis, I believe, and missed the other guy's number in there. Another interior lineman. It might have been Fitzwater or Herman, somebody in there. He was in a pocket, a real tight pocket, and they had that spread offense with the two wide receivers to the right and Baxton and I, but good containment, good coverage by the secondary. He had to eat the ball.
Looks like
Try a counter dive now to the fullback, and he gets a little room to run. He picks up about 8 yards approximately, but it's it had been 3rd and 14, so it's about 4th and 6 probably now.
That time Canton was in their pass prevent defense.
Right.
And it leaves a little bit of room inside to run.
Right. Yeah, that's if you can anticipate them. If the defense shows itself before the start of the play, sometimes it's a good time to check off and come with a draw.
Well, I think a lot of times it is a live call to Troy's quarterback.
Troy comes with a slot left.
Going to go for it, I see.
Baxton and I, right? Well, they have to try to maintain, and it doesn't look good. There would be a case maybe for intentional grounding, but I doubt if anybody's going to call anything on that. He tried to unload the ball to prevent a large loss, and he was back about 10 to 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage. But
there wasn't a Troy receiver in the area.
Well, for about 20 yards. Good coverage again. Good pressure by the line. Now that's what they have to do. Now Canton will take over on downs. Troy had to go for it there. I mean, they're down 8 points. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Baxton and I, they give to fullback Shattuck, and he fights for about 5 yards. Good hard running. You can see him, of course, trying to strip the ball. No self-respecting defensive lineman would fail to do that in this situation. But Shattuck
tackle,
right
the other
onto
guy
it.
goes for the football.
That's
usually
right.
What happens. I don't believe, knock on wood, Tony's fumbled much at all this year.
Yeah, just be careful what you do every
That's
time
what
you praise somebody.
I'm knocking on wood.
Backs in an eye with a wide receiver to the right, and they're going to hit him on the pass. And we've got
there's
it.
pass interference for
Definitely
sure.
got some pass interference. Looked like the guy was trying to bulldog Faust over there. Was Tim Robert, I think, was a defensive back. And,
I
well,
think that's a case, Jared, where the defensive halfback rather give up the penalty than a touchdown.
right. But here, the penalty is substantial enough that it's going to be as good as a catch. So, first and 10 for Canton now from the Troy 30-yard line. Canton comes out over the ball now with the backs offset, kind of like a broken wishbone, wide receiver to the right. Perry takes a snap. He's going to run the option, comes down the line and turns up inside for a gain of about 3 yards. It's a big, 3 yards. I was going to say maybe 4, but I see from the spot of the ball that it's about a 3-yard gain.
Canton's mixing it up well right now. They're coming inside, then coming outside. You have to keep that defense off balance.
All right, you work the outside and you work back inside. One kind of complements the other. It actually sets the other type of play up. Canton comes up, backs in an I, wide receiver to the right, double tight end. Give to the fullback, and he picks up about 2 yards. That'll make it 3rd and about 6. 3rd and 5. That's a long 5 yards.
Canton just has to keep controlling the ball and eating up the clock.
That's right. We're down to 8:36 left in the 4th quarter.
Canton could stand another first down right here.
Definitely.
I believe they're probably in 4-down territory right now, I would think.
Right. Right. The backs are offset right toward the wide receiver, who is also set right. Perry rolls out to pass, and he's in trouble. I thought they just, I guess his one knee went down. They didn't bring him down, but his one knee went down, and it's kind of a in the grasp situation. So there's a loss there of about 5 yards, so it's going to be 4th down and 15. They're backed out to the Trojans 35, and looks like we have a punting unit coming in.
I think that's a wise call.
Sure.
If you could angle the ball towards one of the corners, pin him back deep, put him in a hole.
Well, he's going to be punting from the 45-yard line, so he certainly has room to drop the ball in there. The thing now is to get. We got a bad high snap, and Mockmer's all alone. There's a flag. I think maybe some of the Canton players might have left early. Somebody jumped off sides, and they flagged it dead. I didn't see the flag for a minute, and I saw Mockmer pick up the ball and stand there, and I thought, better either throw it or run with it, but don't stand there with it.
It's pretty hard to hear the whistle from all the way up here. That's
right.
The problem.
Yeah, sitting above some bands or some enthusiastic fans below. Well, that's going to back Canton back up 5 more yards, so it's going to be 4th down and 20 from Troy's 40, just shy of the 40-yard line, closer to the 41, and Mockmer will try it again. Let's hope they get the snap a little better control this time. It actually can work to his advantage because he's got the room to dump a pass in now. It's going to take a... we got a break. We got a break that time. The Troy player tried to field it on a bounce, and it rolled out, and I'm almost positive that Canton recovered that.
I thought I saw a white jersey in there. No, I guess not.
Well, there must have been a little digging and pawing under the pile.
That's a case where I don't know who it was for Canton, but instead of trying to pick up the ball and run, which I don't believe he can anyway, on a punting situation, he should have covered the ball right there.
Right. Well, the ball it looked like it bounced into his arms, but it might actually have gone right through his arms. I mean, too slow to snatch it, or too fast for him to snatch it. He just couldn't close his hands around it close enough. But, the punt achieved what Canton needed it to do.
was a good
Troy's
job
backed
by,
up on its 13-yard line now.
Sean Montmer scooping up that low snap.
Right. It's 1st and 10 with 7 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter, and Troy's going to put the ball out. This time Perry was looking for the pickoff there, and it was definitely there. The receiver was covered. They were going to blow him down the sidelines deep, and Perry read that right away.
I believe the ball would have been out of bounds.
Right. He barely had enough room to get over to the
Still a good defensive
sidelines
play.
and catch it. But that play was not going to net anything. Okay. David Manley comes into the game for Tim Robert, and he sets on the right in the split position, and Weed is, or flanker position. Weed split out left, and they're going to throw it to Weed again. This time,
Good defensive play by
Yeah.
Montmer.
Mockmer was right on him again like a second skin, and he saw the ball coming, took a step back inside, but well, he had that
As a matter of fact,
Weed on
the
his
Troy
back.
receiver turned into a defender himself. He kind of made a decent play on that himself.
right. He was climbing up on Mockmer's back, and Mockmer was the only one that had a chance for the ball. So nicely defended again. I don't think you're going to see anything long against the Canton defense. It's going to have to be a short pass and a long run, broken field running. I don't think you're going to see anything, anybody get deep. They're just not going to allow it. 6:39
He'll
left.
Probably be in a pass prevent again. Watch for the run. Watch for the fullback running up the middle.
Right, this is a passing situation, but they might come up with a draw. This might be a good place for a draw. Certainly, again, nothing for the Trojans to lose by gambling on a draw, although they've got to expect a hard rush by the Canton interior line, I would suspect, if I were in Trojan shoes right now. I don't think I'd want to get the call to run a draw against Canton's line.
Pardon me?
I said I don't think I'd want to get the call to run a draw against Canton's line. They're not going to leave you. You're going to have to be a regular wasp-waisted little side dancing halfback to get out through those guys.
You never know. They may even try that middle screen again. You don't know.
Well, that's true. That certainly seems maybe a little more logical than the draw. You've got a few more blockers around them there. Well, Troy's got a 3rd and 10 from its own about 14-yard line. 14.5-yard line, approximately 6:39 left. They come out and set in an I with a pro set. They have a split end right, flanker left. And good penetration. Herman missed a tackle there. Quarterback breaks loose, and he picks up enough for the first down, but he fumbles out of bounds. Let's see. There's a flag down on the field. Hicks picked up enough for the first down, and then the ball was punched out, flew back down the field about 10 yards.
Looks like we have a Canton player down over on the sidelines. I don't know who it is. I can't see him.
Now we've got staff coming over. The doctor comes out right away. Let's see who we've got left on the field. Maybe we can figure out who it is.
I hope not, but it might be quarterback Perry. I don't see him.
I don't see him there either. He's the only one who's not around there, so it appears that he might have sustained an injury here.
Put a whale of a lick on that kid, I'll tell you.
Right. Well, while we have an injury timeout on the field, we'll take a break and hear from some of our fine sponsors for tonight's game. Okay, the injured player is Boo Perry. Of course, any injury is serious, but this could be a serious blow to Canton offense. He's up and under his own power. He put a heck of a shot on that.
He sure did.
Pile of receivers and defenders
looks like
there.
he's holding his right arm or hand. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Shane Wilcox is going to come into the game now and fill in for Perry while he's out on the sidelines. This is a tough situation to come into, too. You're Cole on the sidelines.
Fortunately enough, Shane's been in on the offense So he might be a little loose, I hope.
That's true. Of course, he has played in the secondary throughout the season off and on, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
That's good. Well, he's no stranger then. He's back there deep, and you can see he's quite alert to the situation here. It's 3rd and 15, and
there goes the
got a reverse in our Mockmer. Comes up and makes a stop at about the 15-yard line, which brings up 4th down and about 8 yards probably. Troy, well, you call it. 6 minutes, 22 seconds left. 4th and 8 in your own, backed up your own end
zone. They'll definitely punt.
Definitely going to punt the ball, and I'm surprised that Canton doesn't go for the block. Just, okay, the ball rolls dead at about the 46-yard line where Troy downs it. No opportunity, wisely no opportunity taken to run the ball.
Looks like Boo's coming out for offense. That's a good sign, I hope.
The ground's cold and hard enough. He could have, jammed it enough to kind of numb it up a little bit. But he's coming back into the game in any event.
That's a good sign.
Right. And also into the game comes Benny Thompson, who's going to take a position at a split end. The back's offset, and the give is to Mockmer. There's a flag, but he picks up about 2 yards, maybe 3 yards. There's a flag. Could be somebody left a little too soon, maybe.
Well, the first half was relatively penalty-free, and then all of a sudden, the second half, they've been coming in waves.
Right. Indication is that the, looks like what's it behind the head? Personal foul?
No.
Foul?
That's some sort of procedure penalty.
Oh, illegal procedure. Somebody might have been a shade off the line into the backfield, maybe too many men in the backfield. So I know we did have a wide receiver set to the right, so somebody may have dropped back a little too far. Okay, 1st and 15 for Canton on its own 49-yard line. 5:47 left in the game. Score 14-6. Perry over the ball, backs in an eye with a wide receiver set to the right. He takes a snap and gives to Shattuck, the fullback. Takes it into the line where he's met by a host of Trojan tacklers, and he gains, nevertheless, about 3 yards back. Brings up a 2nd and 12.
I see Perry's working his right shoulder a little bit.
He may have taken a spill on that arm, kind of jammed it under his body when he hit. The sidelines isn't any too soft over there.
Well, he sure did put a lick on that kid.
Right. Football. Backs in an eye with a wide receiver to the right. Perry takes a quarterback counter this time, but there was too many people. There were too many people at home there. Had about 4 Trojan defenders there. Needed just a little more development, I think, in that play. Maybe he had to hesitate just a little bit. Maybe a little bit deeper belly on the fake to the fullback. Then make his swing around the right or the left end.
I think he was trying to cut that back up inside, and the blocking just wasn't there.
Right. Brings up.
I remember years ago we scored on that.
11.
Russ Vermillion, I guess it was, a little counter right up the middle of the quarterback.
Sometime before that, Jerry Bauman scored the only touchdown over here one night. We had some.
That was
had a little collision out there between Rydell and a couple of Trojan defenders. The official didn't seem to notice it. He was definitely on the road to daylight. The ball wasn't badly thrown, but
Looks
that collision,
Boo's arm's still okay.
Yeah,
he threw that ball
right.
pretty well.
The collision took him out of stride, and of course caused the
It looked
pass
like a little bit of pass interference.
a little defensive interference, I would say. But the referees can't catch them all, I suppose. Canton back to punt from from Troy's 49. Another end-over-end bouncing punt, and it gets back between them, and this is going to be a beauty as far as field position is concerned. No attempt, wisely so, made to field the ball by Troy, and it rolls back between the two deep receivers, and the ball is down on about the 4-yard line.
I see Boo Perry's back in on defense. So he's a tough
Hard
kid,
to keep
I'll
a good
tell you.
man down. Right. Well, we've got 4:01. Well, exactly 4 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. While we're waiting for the Trojans to come out over the ball, we'll take a break for our sponsors. Okay, Troy setting the power backfield, both ends tight. Backs off, set to the left, straight ahead comes the tailback, Josh Bruce, for a gain of maybe a yard.
See, there's a little
Possibly
extracurricular
two,
activity
possibly
going on out there between a Troy and a Canton player.
Well, I hope.
Things are getting heated up now.
Right.
It's getting towards the end of the football game.
I would hope they'd be above that, but it's hard.
It happens.
Right. 2nd and 8. Troy comes out, and then they use that spread offense. They have a double split ends, split left and split right, and they have a
They have a penalty here.
slot
I don't know if
back. Yeah,
somebody
we've got
lined
a
up
penalty,
offsides. That's against Troy.
procedure penalty before the play's even underway. So somebody maybe had a mouthpiece dangling or something. Who knows?
I have no idea. It looked.
I couldn't see anything wrong myself.
Let's see what the call is by the referee. I didn't.
Mhm.
I missed it, I guess. Could have been that or somebody lined up offsides.
Okay, we've got official word somebody lined up off sides here. So, as I say, all those dark jerseys matted together down there. I couldn't see. Okay, same spread formation. No doubt they're going to run the same play. Both of the fullback and the half or tailback set deep in the end zone.
Looks
We've
like
got another offsides call here, and this time they're going to mark the ball off against Canton. You can see the quarterback, Hicks, jumping around in there and intentionally trying to pick up a free 5 yards, and it worked that time. One of our players got a little eager.
sometimes they use a little bit different inflection in their voice. And,
right.
Defenders have to go on the
Nevertheless,
football.
you've got to go when the ball goes
that.
and not on the sound. The ball is right under your nose. So we run that spread set again with a wide slot to the left, split end to the right, counter option. He fakes the pitch and keeps it, and somehow, my gosh, you got to give that Hicks credit. He somehow weaseled through about 4 Canton defenders right there, brought the ball all the way out to the about 9-yard line. 2:23 to go in the fourth quarter, where it's 1st and 10. Canton leading 14-6. Come with the spread formation this time again. I slot left, split end right. Takes his snap and counter option again. Oh, this time. Sooner or later it gets you.
He was in between pitching or keeping the ball.
That's
and
right.
He
He
just
said,
dropped it out of his
whoops,
hands.
and it spilled out of his hand, and Lyle Wisniewski came up with a present right there.
The defensive end, played that very well. He kind of split the difference.
Right.
The quarterback didn't know if he was playing him or the pitch man, and
right.
it caused some confusion on the quarterback's part.
Well,
and he fumbled the football.
Lyle was in perfect position. As you say, he could have grabbed the quarterback had the quarterback showed.
I think that was a case where the pitch man was a little too close to the quarterback, and one player can play them both in that situation.
Yep.
This is where Canton has to take the football down the field and eat up the clock.
That's right. And
there
we
go. There we go. Another penalty.
Now we've got another penalty here. I guess. I suppose it doesn't sound nice to say, but maybe officials don't think they got their quota of penalties since the first half.
I've had my share of arguments with officials, believe me.
Well, I have too.
That would about put the icing on the cake right there.
A minute and 39 seconds left in the game.
That was a nice little counter play.
Right.
back to the tailback.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like a little bit of trap play.
I would say
I didn't
probably it
watch-
was.
I didn't watch the interior lineman, but that's a possibility.
Minute and 39 seconds left in the game. Canton leads 14-6. They had the ball on the Troy approximately 38-yard line, somewhere in that neighborhood. Just say ball control, run the clock down. They don't need another score. At least I don't have to eat the crow about the 6 points at this point, being the deciding factor. It's going to be 8 points. Unless, of course, right, fullback Shattuck takes the handoff and dives up into the middle of the left side of the line and gains about 2.
I don't know how much. I don't know if Troy has any timeouts left or not.
No, we've been a little remiss in checking.
No.
They take one.
Now that's
so
a case where Troy let about 15, 20 seconds run off the clock before they called timeout.
Right. There's
And
under a
it's
minute
kind of
now.
a waste of one now.
Right. There's only 58 seconds left now, and they definitely wasted one.
I think I saw one of the coaches for Troy hold up one finger like they had one timeout left. Maybe that's the case.
Well, traffic is beginning to leave here already, and well, I wouldn't think for the Troy Trojans fans that they should be extremely disappointed.
Hey, you never
Disappointed
know
to
what's
lose,
going to
but
happen in a
that's
Troy
true.
Canton
It's
football
true. I
game.
mean, you can look at statistics and you can quote this and quote that, and when it comes right down to it, it's all what's in your heart. An old football coach told me one time that on any given day, any team can beat another one. Okay, Canton comes out of the over the ball with the basic I formation, wide receivers to the right. Perry drops back, and he had time, and he is savagely dropped. They
were trying to throw the
set
screen
up,
again
right.
that time, but that time that screen was well defended.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you're going to throw the screen, you have to release 3 linemen. When you
Right.
release 3 linemen, you have nobody to block back in.
That's right.
For the
I don't know if you
quarterback.
noticed down the left-hand side there that Faust was clearing out, and our tight end on the right was clearing out, and they definitely had the open field there.
But one thing that Perry did do was he did not throw the football,
Right.
which would stop the clock.
Right.
At least he ate the football, which forced Troy to take their last time out, I believe.
I think so too. 45 seconds left in the game. It's 3rd down and 30 yards now.
I would imagine if we do punt the football, which we probably will because of the field position in this particular case, I would think that Troy would probably send everybody but the water boy, I would imagine.
Right. Look for them to clear the bench. They'll have probably 14 guys split out left and 7 guys split out right, and they'll keep one blocking back. Yeah, I know if you folks at
looks
home
like,
listening said, gee, that's more
whoa,
than 11.
gosh.
True.
This is how much I'm in the ball game. It's only 3rd down.
Right, it's 3rd and 30. I was going to tell you that we had time to run another play
Yeah.
before we punted, but I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
want
There we
Perry
go. Nice little
bootlegs and,
bootleg. Little bootleg. Ooh, don't
to.
get out of
Okay,
bounds.
Buddy takes a few more seconds off the clock. 35, apparently not knocked out of bounds because the clock is still running down.
Mm-hmm.
So 27 seconds remaining. Canton.
No, I'd take the 5-yard penalty right here, I guess. Let the clock run down until
the
it
clock
gets
will run
middle.
out before they even come back to the line now. 18 seconds left in the game. They don't even have to come back up over the ball. So the fact that it's 4th down and, not 30 yards any longer, but
Here we go. I
25.
think Canton wins the NTL and the Old Shoe.
I
At the
believe
same
so.
time. What do you think of that? What a
Well, I'm
fitting
quite
end to a
pleased.
fine season for the Canton Warriors,
definitely a
believe
fine
me.
season.
Wasn't
so-
one of the prettiest football games I've ever seen, but it doesn't matter. It all matters what's on the scoreboard at the
Well,
end.
it was well played, and the players pass one another shaking hands here. I like to see that. I mean, things looked like they were going to get a little hot, and no doubt the frustration of a season, a season long coming out.
I tell you,
but,
that block punt way back in the first quarter sure did enter into this football game.
Right. Gosh, I'm just so tickled. I said that 6 points wouldn't be the margin in the game, and
I'd personally like to congratulate Mr. Moyer and Mr. Schaefer and the rest of the Canton coaching staff on a fine job done this year. I also congratulate the kids on a good job. They worked all winter long for this season, and that's all they talked about for months. And
Right.
they worked in the weight room, and well, from the last game of the football game last year, that's all they've been thinking about was the following year, and
Right.
it paid off.
Mm-hmm.
Good bunch of kids.
Right. And we wish them well, of course, when they
That means we
take
have
on
home
South
field.
Williamsport,
Yes, we
right?
have home field advantage. South Williamsport will be up here in 2 weeks.
Okay, with this victory, then Canton gets home field advantage next week, 2 weeks against South Williamsport in district play. And I understand it's been changed somewhat this year. There'll be only one district game for Canton. I haven't been following that too closely, but I understand things have been changed a little.
Well, since they've gone to state playoffs, they had to shorten the season up a little bit, the playoff season. And if we should beat South Williamsport 2 weeks from now, we're still not guaranteed of going on. It depends on what other teams do in the region.
I see.
But I'd still, again, like to congratulate the Canton coaching staff and the Canton Warriors and the parents and everybody that's been associated with the Canton football program this year. They've had a fine year, one that they can be very proud of.
Definitely. They've had some, I think a lot of people thought tonight from both communities that it was going to be one of those blowout football games. Canton had been putting away her opponents in big fashion over the last few weeks, scoring 20, 30, 40 points difference. And I'm sure some people are going to be critical of the play calling and the play itself, the play of the team, and disappointed that the score wasn't by a wider margin than 8 points. But as we said before, this is a type of game where it makes no difference who has done what, prior to the game, because there's an emotional aspect that you can't figure. It's a variable. The tide can turn. We saw the block punt be the first big break in the game, and from that point, it seemed to take the wind out of Troy's sails a little bit. Canton pretty much controlled things first half.
The whole important thing, I would imagine, the whole ball of wax is it's another win in the win column, believe me.
That's
and
right.
We'll take it any way we can get it when you go over to Troy, believe me.
It seems over the years now, you and I know I've been associated with Canton football since back in the dark ages as players.
Oh, yeah.
Of junior high and
back with the leather
junior
helmet,
varsity,
you mean?
and yeah, well, not exactly that,
can't go
but
back
we
that
stopped killing pigs for footballs,
Yeah.
when we ran out of footballs
Yeah,
before
right.
we were playing. But it seems that every time we come to Troy, things look like natural disasters as far as weather. This morning it was rain and snow, and the weather prediction wasn't
Tonight was
too
actually a beautiful
promising.
night, except for it was
Yeah.
a little cold.
Yeah, the afternoon cleared off, and it's a great night for football.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, the season's done for all intents and purposes. For the NTL, Canton wraps up a 6-0 league mark. Troy falls to 1-4-1, I believe, in the league. Disappointing, but they had their year last year, and Canton kind of became a bridesmaid rather than a bride. Now it's time for
As a matter of fact, I've kind of been switching back and forth the last few years.
Right.
2 years ago, we won the whole ball of wax, then Troy wins the whole ball of wax, then we win the whole ball of wax. It's kind of nice to keep it up in this part of Bradford County, don't you think?
Well, true. And it speaks well for the athletes in our area to compete against, big schools like Towanda, for example.
Right.
That we went through a period there of back in the mid-'70s where they won everything for like 3 years in a row. Went through like
Black Lightning.
yeah,
if you
Attila the
recall.
Hun and the company, and
I have to do
swept
one
everything.
thing before we sign off. Hi, Mom.
Oh boy, yeah. Say good night, Gracie. Good night.
Good night.
So this is Jared Wilcox and Jim Reed signing off for TV10 here from Alperon Park. Again, the final score: Canton 14, Troy 6.